good, very good finishing. So they had a bad start, but they had a good way of finishing it. Ben, are we going to see Tinker again?
I hope not.
You hope not.
Some people just aren't
It
meant
was just
to
I mean, I'm
win
sure.
games in certain matchups.
Yeah.
That was just not his game, dude.
Okay.
It happens. I'm sure he can play Tinker. I'm sure that's why they first pick it early. Sometimes you just have a lot of confidence in your cores. You're like, wow, this guy owns on Tinker. Let's pick him, Tinker, in a very important match, and he just kind of, fell flat. That happens.
Do you think DuoBao.Y going to pick Tinker? They're banning Clock. They're banning Nyx Assassin. Are they going to show him how it's done?
Possibly. Possibly. They don't have the Luna SD combo, so I think the whatchamacallit loses value. The Tinker loses value against the non-illusions. But Magic Burst, I think, is the key to deal with the Luna. Force her to get BKB, and her HP pool is not the greatest. As opposed to like a physical burst with like Slardar plus Lifestealer, which is what we see. Slardar plus Lifestealer works very well if you can constantly keep her down. And magic damage is good if you don't lose your magic damage dealing core many times, like Quap, Puck, Tinker, etc. Pretty good if you can actually keep your farm up and not die.
Yeah, it's crazy to see that he's kind of like the gyrocopter ban, but that is just because, it's something that this team does play, especially with the Kunkka. They managed to really break up the combo of the Kunkka Shadow Demon Gyro that some of these Chinese teams do like to run. So it'll be interesting to see what DuoBao pick because they can't get their hands on those heroes. I mean, they could still slip a Darkseer in, couldn't they, Ben? Or would the Slardar not really work as a roaming support if the other support is a Kunkka? Is that?
Slardar for whom? DuoBao or MAX.Y?
No, so for DuoBao, if they got Darkseer into their lineup as well.
I think Slardar Darkseer is fine.
They can just run that as
they have
duel.
That's a great combo.
But then Kunkka as a solo, kind of the support, is that okay for a Kunkka?
It depends on who your safe laner is.
Yeah.
And what their off laner is. Depends on the matchup. Ooh, they steal the Darkseer. Stolen. I think that's a steal.
Yeah.
But it still works well in their lineup, yeah. I would not mind having Darkseer in my lineup.
OD
will
be the pick. So maybe something as well that DuoBao were opening themselves up for, because they did ban out like the Nyx Assassin.
Yep.
So maybe, Max were like, okay, you've cleared the ground for us, we'll get the OD in.
I do not think you necessarily want to pick Tinker here, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
What else would be good for them? SF still a very common matchup versus the OD. I think works very well.
Might they just play the Invoker?
Invoker's more risky. I think
something that some of these Chinese sides do like doing that.
Yeah.
But there's normally they do it when they have the SD and the Kunkka, not rather than just the Kunkka.
It is pretty nice, though. I think Quaswex Invoker or just any type of Invoker is pretty good. I generally like Quaswex a little bit more versus Darkseer. It just really impairs his ability to do anything in the fights if you can catch him in a vacuum. It also dispels Surge. It's also pretty good at stalling a Luna push. But, yeah, I think either one would work fine. I think SF does a lot better in the lane versus the OD. So.
Or the classic OD counter.
Yeah.
The Sniper.
Sniper. I like Sniper.
I mean, with that Sniper picked up as well, if you're Max, are you like, we got to ban the Drow just in case DuoBao finish it off with a safe lane Drow?
They have a lot of high armor heroes. Luna, Darkseer, Outward, Devour have all pretty high armor. And also MAX.Y have last pick. So they can, pick a support that, I don't know. None of the supports really counter Drow that heavily. I think Drow would be actually pretty good.
I should ban out the Weaver instead here. I mean, it's just understandable. Lockdown is not there really at all for Max. They're very lacking in it.
Yeah, I actually like Drow, or Drow the most, because I don't think they have good anti-push at all.
Do they want to go with the Drow Sniper? I don't know, anything else really that kind of combos nicely with the Slardar?
Well, you can also just do a lane that works well versus Darkseer. Juggernaut, very common one. Anti-Mage, pretty common too. Any range, I think Drow's
any kind of
decent too.
BKB builder, really, even like a Sven.
Sven I don't like so much.
Oh, what about
slow.
Void? I mean, is that going to be?
I haven't seen
is that
Void
carry
in ages.
Void, or are we going to see safe lane Slardar, off lane Void? What do you think is more likely from the Chinese side?
Carry Void.
Carry Void. I mean, I can't remember last time it was Pudge to finish off from Max. All right, this is going to be a fun one, Ben.
Pudge,
so,
do you like this? An old school counter to Faceless Void.
Yeah, get them out of the Chronosphere.
There's like two ways you can kind of save people in the Chronosphere.
Yeah.
One is like banish with SD and OD, or one is relocation with relocate, Pudge Hook, or Vengeful Swap. And Pudge is kind of the one I think favored a little bit more.
Oh, look at that, Ben. It's been picked 11 times so far in the groups. 27% win rate on Pudge.
Sick.
That's pretty low for old Pudge.
That is very low. He's only won 3 games. Poor guy. The last hit's 32. KDA 2.
It's not the most impressive stats for Pudge, bless him. Yeah, we'll see if they can make it work this game.
Let's first, you got to check out the Pudge cosmetics.
Has he got
see
some
how
good
sick
ones?
he is.
Yeah, how full in he's on.
He does.
He's
have
got the golden
golden Ripper wheel or something.
How much? I think that's worth about like $30.
I think it's more than that because it's golden. I think
is it? I've got one of those.
I think
no, it is. It's the one that was in the TI chest, wasn't
it? That one's not golden.
It was the one.
Did you get there's a genuine one and there's a golden one and there's a regular one.
How did you get the golden chest at TI? I can't remember. I've got this item.
Do you have the golden one?
Or maybe I sold it. I might have sold it.
I have the.
No, I've definitely got the golden one.
Oh, you do? I have the one with the blood on it, the Crimson Witness or whatever. The one that you get from being a spectator at TI.
Yeah, no, I think.
Oh, they de-awarded that. These
straight
teams
away.
know each other so well.
Yeah,
they're like, okay,
they've definitely played a lot.
They're gonna block our Pudge Hook spawn. Okay, I'm just gonna de-award it at the start. The thing is, you can actually creep pull 2 spawns. One is.
Okay, you pull the other one.
Yeah, you can pull the one on the right. You can pull it without a Pudge Hook if it's a range creep. So you can definitely pull it with a Pudge Hook. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this is certainly going to be annoying for them at the start. For DuoBao, the fact that Max have got control over this pull they wish to go for, or he will be a win stroke. So we'll see how that pull goes on. The other lanes, safe lane, tri lane from DuoBao, and Mult once again off lane Darks here. Top lane Sugar Baby this time on the Yoga. He's going to be supporting up Chalice on Luna. So yeah, carry Void. What kind of build are we going to see, Bennett? If you're a Void nowadays, do you get a Helmet Dominator?
I've actually tried it a few times.
Yeah.
I played Void a few times. I actually really like it on him. I think it's a better teamfight item than Vlad's early because you can do a lot more. Also, the creep can move around in the Chronosphere. Any units under your control, including Manta Style, Necrobooks, and HOD, you can move around in the Chronosphere, which is really nice. So you get like
a follow-up Centaur stun after
the follow-up Centaur stun. You can get like a Hellbear Smasher Stomp, which is very powerful early on in the game. And I also think it provides you lane sustain, which is part of the reason why Shadow goes for that early Lincoln Sphere, so he can have that early Ring of Regen, so you have a lot of control in the lane. So I think it has a lot of merit, and let's be honest, you can kind of get HOD on anyone and get away with it in this patch.
I mean, already there in the mid lane, we're seeing these pulls come through. How do you deal with this if you're a sniper? Because
you cry.
You lose a lot of XP and gold, don't you, because of this play?
Yep.
And underneath the tower, I mean, OD should be all right with the CSing here.
Yep.
As yeah, he's still getting the majority of them. Yeah, he's A-okay. I missed the one there, but still got a couple of them underneath it.
You cry, dude.
And as we can see, HY just does it perfectly. Pulls the creeps round to a second camp. And can he get a third one in? Yes, he can. So managing to clear all 3 camps nicely before, well, way before out of the 3-minute mark.
Oh, no, he's not going to get the Centaur. No, okay.
Ooh, okay.
That was, you jinxed him,
I did jinx him. These jinxes today. Maybe you could turn this into a rotation. He's in a good position. He's not quite level 3, though, because he didn't get that Centaur.
Still, that's ridiculous leveling.
Well, effectively, if he'd done it with that, you'd have level 3 at 2 minutes.
Yep, as a support. And you deny the mid laner.
And yeah, you've shut down the mid laner without having to even go into the mid lane.
Yep. That is very strong. And very difficult to deal with unless you block the spawn. So, MAX.Y definitely know what they're doing.
Pudge. I mean, we have seen this, of course, you know, these early levels come out, but as we saw on the stats, it doesn't necessarily win you games.
Nope.
So
it does win you the lane, though.
It does, yeah.
And
it
OD
makes the
is
sniper suffer.
Well ahead of the sniper.
Yeah, double CS.
They kind of picked it to counter it, but there's not really that much you can do. It's just extremely hard to counterplay that hook, though. If you don't have like a bounty hunter or a Riki or someone to kind of leech it, it becomes a lot more difficult.
Up top, trying to surround Tone. He will go for the TP out, and looks like he'll make it. Yeah, Lucent Beam was already used early on in the attack. And no Fire Blast yet for Ogre, as he put the second point in Bloodlust rather than getting a point in the stun.
Who needs stun as Ogre? Especially when you have Luna and OD.
I mean, the damage, yeah.
Yeah, the damage is way better. Unless you can stop with TP to get kills.
But look at this as well. Is this... I mean, I guess it's most likely to be the Lincoln Sphere, or do you think just a casual Ring of Health?
Most likely Lincoln Sphere. You don't get a Ring of Health without getting Lincoln Sphere on Void, unless you get Vanguard, which he already has a poor man shield, so no Vanguard for him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, that was kind of the build as well with... we're kind of like the Chinese carry Void. I think the Chinese started, didn't they? When there was that kind of phase where people were playing Void and they just get Lincolns first.
Yeah,
every time.
I think it's only a Wings thing, though.
Yeah, yeah, it was Wings with it. That's right. Yeah, they started to do that. A few patches ago, Pudge. He is in a lot of trouble here. This is almost certainly going to be your first blood as DuoBao.Y. Find a Pudge walking into him. Can he deny himself? Oh, nope. Or he gets the first blood.
I don't know if he should have aggroed those creeps there, because those creeps have the AoE. The AoE, whatever you call it, Desecrate, I guess is what it's called.
Yeah, I could have nuked down the Pudge on his low.
Yeah, it could have. He wanted to aggro it so that it didn't damage him, but because it has an AoE spell, it was actually kind of close to getting hit by it, and it also just does a lot of damage because there's so many heroes around. That could have been a lot worse.
Considering the way the things were going as well without pulling the mid lane, Sniper's pretty much recovered. He's only 3 CS behind the OD. He's got a good creep wave coming through, and the fact that he got his first blood in the pocket as well, Ori's going to be fine with this.
Definitely should be.
All right. I know the ward will know that HY is on the prowl once again, but in turn, Max did see Kunkka come out for that.
They have that Radiant Observer ward near the top side, so it's very difficult for the Pudge to walk around.
Yeah.
I think he's almost in vision. Not quite.
Well, top lane, Chalice and Sugar Baby this time were successful with the play that they went for on Slada. And will enable Max to get their kill on the board. Bottom lane, Fonte's level 6. So if he just gets some backup, yeah, it's got a TP just in case an openings across the map.
They don't have any damage to follow up yet.
See mid lane. Yeah, Pudge tried to go in for the kill onto Ori. He's not going to get it, and Sniper turns around. That's going to be the second kill that this Sniper's been fed in the mid lane.
Dude, they know exactly what this Pudge is doing. It's actually crazy how well they know this Pudge. First, they block the spawn, and then they know that he's going to try and hook the Sniper from the left side, and then they know that he's going to try and hook the Sniper from the right side.
Top lane, a nice bit of setup here. They are going to bring it back up. It is Ori, the Sniper, turning in. I mean, this Sniper, he is getting himself involved in a lot of kills, so it may not matter if you pull his creep wave. Ori involved in all of the kills so far, just TPing across, making sure he misses out on none of the action that his team finds.
Ho ho. It's actually pretty nice TPing the top lane. Before, if you didn't get a kill, you kind of just had to do the walk of shame back to the mid lane. But he timed it close to the bounty rune spawn too. He's like, oh, okay, I got a bounty rune on top of picking up 2 kills. I'm owning with my team, despite me getting.
Dude, this OD's in trouble.
Yep.
Oh, actually,
he got rid of the regen. That's still a lot. It's not like Sniper really needs his mana to really put out that much pressure.
It's going to force him to maybe use the shrine, but. Oh, no, I guess again, yeah, the bounty room is still there, so he can still top the ball back up. He's going to be okay. HY and Sugar Baby, they are going to look to gank the Sniper again, and Ori a little bit more vulnerable this time. They could get this kill. All he's got to do is land the hook, and he does. And, nice. Yeah, no way he gets out of that one. So this time, HY will redeem himself, and they'll secure the kill on mid. Top lane, though, Fonte, he's ready to go. They'll put the pressure onto the Luna, immediately coming in with the Chronosphere. Maledict as well. There's going to be more damage than necessary.
Dude, these cores get involved so often, like the Sniper and the Faceless Void. I haven't seen this level of involvement from that many cores in this tournament. And I don't know if you were casting with me, some of the Brazilian team where 4DR.
I've not seen any of the Brazilian team, no.
Yeah, 4DR was just always not doing stuff with his team, even though he was a teamfight hero. And DuoBao was the complete opposite, and it is really paying off for them in the early game. They are keeping this Luna down. She does have Helmet Dominator already, so I would actually like to see her get a little bit more involved with that. What's the best creep for her right now? Probably the Frost Armor creep, I think, is really good versus Slardar. They don't have that much magic damage at all.
I mean, and I guess just the Void Chrono as well. If she's got the armor on her, it's unlikely that the Void, without significant backup, can kill the Luna. Fonte's going to remain in this top lane. HY on the roam.
I like the lane swap too. They're prioritizing farm on Tone because he's very important. Like, we see this a lot where he picks already, he doesn't have a good lane, and then he gets blink at like 20 minutes. They're trying to prevent that from happening. This is where it starts. Putting a hero that's probably not going to die in the top lane that faces Void because he already has his farm. And bottom lane.
Yeah, Kunkka just unfortunate there to walk into the Purge, so they just gave him the rundown with the Rot and with Darkseer in the neighborhood as well. That Iron Shell, too much for the Kunkka to walk off.
Remember when Pudge was almost level 3 2 minutes in? Now he's level 4.5 and 6 more minutes after that. Poor guy.
He should have kept pulling creeps, but even though saying that, you know, he's just got himself involved in 2 kills. He's putting pressure on bottom, so he's managing to pick up the play.
He is. It's just...
It's
just sad.
Yeah, the experience gain, as you said, how much is kind of tapered off.
Just like Tinker from last game. He has such a good start and then just kind of, boop, I'll just throw it down the toilet.
Yeah, indeed. Fonte, as expected, queuing up the Lincoln's Fit on top of the treads. And yeah, Lincoln's pretty big this game. I mean, just what's been able to save you from setups from Astrals or the Pudge combo if he hooks you in.
Yep. All the above. And giving him a nice HP buffer. I think that's one of the best parts about Lincoln's, actually, is getting the 15 all attributes. 15 strength is incredible amounts of tankiness that will allow you to usually get your time walk off, because that's the way people deal with Face's Void often in team fights, is just burst him down before he gets his ulti off. But if he gets that one time walk off, it completely changes the fight. I wonder if he's going to take 5 strength or 15 attack. 15 attack is really hard to
you take 15.
But if you're not really there for damage, like they have Amp for damage, they have Witch Doctor for damage, they have Sniper for damage. I think the 5 strength actually is
it's only 5 strength, Ben.
Okay, 5 strength plus 15 from the Lincolns plus 8 from treads. Sorry, 9 from treads. So that's 29 strength. That's so much HP. That's like 550 HP. And they're already like in a bad spot. All you need to do is have the Void like not die in a team fight, right? Like, do you really need that 15% attack speed? Are you really going to... What's going to change the fight more? You being able to attack like 5 more times or potentially being able to get a time walk off because of 5 more strength? I don't know. It's really hard to tell. Yeah. That's one of the talents that I would generally say 15 attack speed is really good, but in situations like this...
Up top, coming in with the Chrono. HY seeing if he can get any sort of hooked up, but the Chrono actually catching the creeps as well. Nicely blocks him off. The Eclipse will be used, but immediately Luna dies. MAX.Y, they've lost one. HY trying for the TP out is not going to make it. Ori gets a double, a triple kill as Sniper cleans up on the top lane. Again, you mentioned it earlier, they're just the involvement of these cores.
Yeah, they're
Ori.
Good at the team fight.
Yeah.
I think he's going to take 15 attack speed, though. I think 15 attack speed is much better for solo kills, which your solo kill potential is really low with a Lincoln's build. I don't know. I still don't know. Let's see what he takes. He takes 15 attack speed. Better for farming. That's generally what you get if you're on the border about a talent. You usually get the one that helps you farm faster, so you get more talents later. Like Slardar, 6 health regen or 175. Man, 6 health regen is absurd, and he doesn't even have Tranquils. So them giving all this time to the Slardar and having all this involvement in their cores, they're just playing 4 Protect 1, but it's actually the offlaner that's farming, and now he has Blink Dagger.
Yeah, this is going to be very scary for Max. Already a game down, of course. This is the game that counts. You lose this game, you're going home without any money in your pocket.
9th through 12th, the same as 13th through 24th in terms of money.
Yeah, this is the money match.
And it might even hurt a little bit more.
Yeah, well, being that close.
Yep.
And having to come in on an extra day, you know what I mean?
Yep.
At least for the
well, you get more practice, so that's good.
It's true.
But
it's going to feel bad.
Is he going to get this hook off? Oh, that's a whiff.
Just a little bit.
See, they could have... What about that team? Where
they might just lose go in.
Into it?
I mean, Ori is totally surrounded here by the team.
Cask.
The Cask and the Maledict and the Death Ward under the tower, followed up by the Crush. I can't help but feel that Slardar did sort of steal the glory there from the Witch Doctor getting the double kill, but I mean, that Witch Doctor play, level 6, he's now nearly level 8. That's all you needed, level 2 Maledict. And the cast bounces.
Sniper plus Witch Doctor, that's pretty strong. You can prevent them from bum rushing your Sniper. That was pretty nice to watch. Yeah,
and Ori just... Oh, I should switch over to net worth now, see where he's standing, and yeah, as expected, up right there up at the top.
It just always seems like their cores are at the right place at the right time. Like Slaughter got some me time in the bottom lane. And as you mentioned, Sniper and Void have just been constantly looking for kills. Even in this bottom lane, we see Faces Void and Sard are trying to set up on an unsuspecting victim on that south side of the map. But MAX.Y, they know that they need to stop giving up kills, get more farm up on the OD and the Luna, get some big kills with the clips.
He just put the ward up and he was like, oh, bum.
And now he knows they don't have vision. They would have just gunned for him if they knew they had vision. And he also knows that the shrine isn't up, so it might be a good place for them to take a fight.
Mid lane, they've got the setup here with the ghost ship as well. Immediately onto the OD, follow up from Tone, gets the 2-man crush, and again, Ori, double kill. He's 8-1-4, 13 minutes in.
I think that's like he's used the Astral a few times, and they've gone on him a few times because of it. I think he's just using it for farming, but look at the difference between these scores. He is 0-1-0. Just
look at this down bottom.
Farming up.
They're trying to fight with the Eclipse, though, and that's a little overstepping the mark there. Max will be able to clean some up in return. Chalice gets the double. So they find themselves about. Meanwhile, again, with the Darkseer actually ended up ticking down. I mean, again, he did have Maledict and a full chunk of Death Ward on him, so, I mean, I guess the Maledict is level 3. Yeah, it's level 3 Maledict, so understandable.
Well, with the Bloodlusted Luna, they will start taking out some towers. Manta next on the list for this Luna, or will it be a Dragonlance? I think Dragonlance she already has. So she's quite farmed. I can't believe the Sniper is so far ahead, though. Everyone else in this game. Dragonlance and Maelstrom at the ready, and they don't have Blink Daggers. They can't really approach him in a team fight and just stomp them down really quickly, which is what you want to do to a Sniper, make them feel scared. And on top of that, they have the Faces of Void in front to kind of quell any threat that is going to approach the Sniper, and as we already saw, the Cask. So they have so many tools to protect this fat Sniper.
Bottom lane, Tone actually ready to go and immediately jumps in onto the Luna, will be hooked back. Fonte comes in, has a Chronosphere if he can get in range.
Ooh, nice purge from that Satyr Banisher. It slowed that Faces of Void down enough.
Tone could still go. We'll bring back up.
It's going to be a little risky, I would say. It's really close to the T1.
And there's going to be a hook. They have got the Ghost Ship coming in onto one. The Chrono out on the back lines, catches out the Luna. They'll take one. Tone does tick down to the Rot, but it doesn't matter because Ori gets a double kill.
They need an X. Ooh, no X.
Trying to keep the vision there with the Assassinate, but yeah, looks like White just couldn't get him to range for that. Oh, Ben, look at this.
What?
He's got the kill. A Dong.
What a player.
He's actually a player.
Where did he come from? I bet the Luna's wondering the same thing.
Like, what the hell is this Witch Doctor doing here?
Just one nice and easy camp. That's all he wanted.
Aye. Bottom lane now. It's going to be the side of DuoBao getting some pressure on. Actually, Mass TP's coming through through this, and they do still have this ward up here, so they'll see all this action coming through. Essentially should be dropped, but Max
there's a haste run on the OD. Maybe they can make a play with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to be involved in getting some kills, just like the other cores on the opposite side. Like, OD's not an AFK farmer.
Do you like this build as well from the OD? I mean, go Force and then straight into Blink Dagger? No kind of tanking up. So I guess, do we sometimes see the Helm? I guess, yeah, Dragonlance and Pike, yeah.
Pike, I think, is just incredibly good on him. Yeah. Especially when there's a lot of stuff you need to avoid, like the Slithering Crush, the Chronosphere, like the boat. I think having that little bit of extra range makes your positioning a lot easier in the team fights, so that you can actually get your damage off. Blink, I suppose, is pretty nice too. If you have quick enough reflexes to dodge like a Blink stun or Faces of Void Chronosphere. The only problem is like X just ruins you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. He's got to be worried about that, where that Kunkka's position is. Yeah,
you can also just escape a lot of stuff with Astral into Blink, so you can keep your net worth up by not dying. Looks like he's going to go for a solo play on the Sniper.
Sniper might actually... Oh, no, he's not. It was close. I mean, a couple of procs that he might have been able to do it. Or he could be in trouble. In fact, he almost said his Tone's coming in, jumps in with the Crush, so even though the OD got that Sniper kill, I say he'll pay with his life. Wait, he's going to be able to blink out. He's still got the blink. He's going to be okay. They've got the blink themselves. No, he hasn't got mana for Crush. Okay, he can just jump and smack him. That'll work as well. They still get the kill. So as you kind of said before, the blink helps not enough. It makes it a little harder for them to kill him, but with the X marks, they're always going to get the kill at the end of the day.
You don't really want to be running away as OD. You might want to like force F out to reposition, but running away is generally not what you want to do. Sniper, he was running away too. I think if he just man fought the OD, he would have been in a much better position and like pretty close to actually killing the OD.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a couple of more hits, and I think he would have done it.
Yep.
He has nearly got what the Hurricane Pike done, so that is almost certainly not going to be an issue. Again, those 1v1s like that, as he should be able to outplay the OD.
But it's always nice killing the highest net worth hero on the opposite team. Quite nice, I must say. Have they blown through most of the smokes on Dire's side? I do not see any in their inventory, so likely that they do not have any left, because this is generally around the time that you smoke a lot as the Pudge, especially during the daytime, so you can get some more hooks off.
Yeah, HY certainly lacking really in the kill involvement. He needs to find some more action across the map. Going for the hood as well before any sort of mobility item. Do you think is that absolutely necessary?
I personally think he needs armor.
He needs armor. That's
I think a Blade Mail or Crimson Guard would be way better, personally.
Yeah, I mean, what are you getting the hood against? I mean, I guess your purge is still nice for the.
But that's the rot, self-rot, but
it is minimal.
Yeah, it is. You already have Flesh Heap. I think Flesh Heap's enough in this case, but you know, he's maybe thinking a little bit more about like Shrapnel, Maelstrom, Assassinate. What else is there? Kunga Boat. It's pretty. It's a pretty good chunk of damage.
DuoBao.Y ready to go. Look at the jumping crush. Immediate reaction with a hook. Keeping Chalice safe.
They have to be careful about their positioning, though. Like, if the Void had Blink right there, he would have just blinked in Chrono 2 people instead of just 1. So, then they don't have a save for the Luna. So this hook combo is only going to work for so long.
Yeah, by the looks of it, so Lincoln's Diffusal Manta, do you think, like, if you're getting the Diffusals, you still almost certainly get the Manta afterwards? Or?
Really good for Bloodlust. And yes, Manta is also really good, especially for single target stuff like Hook, like OD Astral. Like, they have to spend so much time trying to find the real one. And then you have a Lincoln Sphere to counter it. So I am a fan of the Diffusal Manta build onto the on the Fates of the Void. I think it just gives them a lot more uptime.
DuoBao.Y to group up and go. They knew that members were on the hunt from them up top on Max. Fonte has Chrono. Can they find anyone already? Chalice and Sugar Baby backing up. HY sticking in the trees in the jungle. Mool. But Luna certainly is the kill that they want to get. Will they find it? They'll see Ogre. And we'll just jump and be Johnson. The rest of them are going to wait for any backup potentially. See if they can get on anything on the back lines. Already they get the X marks onto the Kunkka. Ogre finally goes down, but they lose the Slardar for it. Moo being bashed up by Fonte. Death Ward down as well. They'll take a second. Darkseid actually committing the wall there for that one as well.
Bash Lord.
OD comes forward, actually shoves one back, but immediately back in. Ooh, HY gets the hook, brings Fonte out of the Chronosphere, but it doesn't look like it matters. He'll be able to Astral Dodge the Ghost Ship. The damage around it is going to be more than enough to bring him down. DuoBao.Y only just surviving incredibly low as they shift away. 21-9 though, it is still another favorable trade. TP, yeah, it's going to be cancelled. Does not want to head into that.
Fonte is just right-clicking the Pudge. He might get hooked over. Oh my goodness, that was close. I liked how he just ran into the hook so that they...
Yeah, didn't hook out the teammate.
Yep. Nice play from him.
Oh, with it, Luna is catching up though.
Yeah, Luna's catching up.
Same level as a farm as this Sniper now at this stage.
A Sniper's way more likely to get his damage off in a team fight though.
Yeah.
Because they can't jump him. They always like constantly have to like protect their cores, whereas Sniper is already protected by the Faces of Void, who can play very aggressively. Same with the Solara, especially with the Kunkka boat. I think the Kunkka would have died in that last fight had he not had the rum on him. OD almost smacked him down after the Sanity's Eclipse. But on top of the Luna, the Sanity's Eclipse intelligence is starting to stack up. We're talking about 87 intelligence on him. After a few steals, you could be looking at upwards like 1,000 damage on a hero like Slardar with that amplified damage on the sprint.
And look at this, Slardar. Tone has found Mool. He'll try and get away. and it looks like he will be alright. Has the backup as well of both Pudge and OD. At the moment, split up Chalice and Sugar Baby. Getting a bit of pressure onto this top tier 2. They may want to head back for this tier 1. Well, or he's already getting out of there. Oh no, okay, he's been X-marked. TP's across, clears the illusions, clears the wave, and will be brought back to help with this push and assault onto the bottom tier 1 of Max's towers.
That's cool. Better than having a...
OD! Okay, he's trusting in the Pudge. But still taking a huge amount of damage there as he comes underneath the ward. So, you know, DuoBao well aware of what was...
I don't know if they can defend
them.
this tower. This is a very dangerous tower to defend. And it looks like they will not exit Face of Void. They are going to set up for a Chronosphere on the Luna as they try and split push. And there is no Pudge over there. That is a one-man Chronosphere. Do they have enough damage, though? I don't know.
The bashes, he is getting a lot of bashes.
Oh, nice retargeting from the Death Ward, too. I like that small play from the Witch Doctor. It was targeting the Manta illusion from the Luna, and then he immediately retargeted to the real Luna. That was nice.
Yeah, I mean, Adong's just been having a great game.
Yeah.
He's
he really
4-2-13. It's got to carry Witch Doctor. Absolutely fantastic time on him.
I really like that setup too. It's to feign into a T1 push and then TP back with the Faceless Void onto the, I believe he TP'd back to the T3, and then he moves up so someone can TP on the T2.
Yeah, I think it was Slaughter came in on the Shrine. Yeah.
Yep.
To come off from behind, and not talking about TPing to Shrines, actually cancelling their TPs there. Not coming across, so yeah, DuoBao. They will have the space and time to finish off Roshan, get the Aegis.
Yep, they still have the Eclipse up, but Luna's dead, so they can't really contest with the Luna. Maybe a really sick vacuum wall, but you can't like cliff inside the pit anymore, so there's like not really a good way for the Darkseer to just solo destroy that fight, unless OD had a lot of stacks or something like that, or he were much more farmed.
That's a big iron pickups as well done once again for DuoBao. The defusal finish for Fonte. BKB is done for Ori, so he'll have BKB Aegis for this next push. Definitely a good chance of getting a tier 2, maybe even more from Max. You have to be incredibly careful how they take these fights and how they defend against DuoBao's team fight and pushing efforts.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing any team fight prowess from MAX.Y coming out just yet. It's a lot of just defensively hooking. They haven't really been able to get the jump, whereas DuoBao, it's always them jumping in. Star binks in with a crush. There's a cast that's just destroying people. X pulling someone back. Chronosphere. They have just much better initiation in the fight. But MAX.Y do have that ability to turn around the fights with a huge defensive Astro, with a counter vacuum wall, especially with a Blink Dagger now up on the Darkseer. But it is going to take very precise positioning from them, especially from the Pudge. BKB on Sniper. Usually I don't see BKB this early, but it's very nice versus the if he gets hooked in. Yeah,
very nice against kind of the Hurricane Pike OD as well.
Yep.
As OD still certainly has the chance to hurt him heavily with those.
The alternative is to go Mjolnir, I think, which is also really good. I think Mjolnir with the Rum is just ridiculous. Like, Starter blinks in. You want to kill him, but then he has Mjolnir and Rum, so he's like twice the HP, and he's just owning everyone with Lightning. And they don't have any BKBs on the Dire side, so I don't know. I think I personally would have preferred the Mjolnir just to kill everyone, but BKB is certainly much safer. But I don't know. Does he really need BKB when he has Aegis? BKB timing is always tough, like when I pick it up.
I guess at this point is what DuoBao just go for the tier 2s on each and every lane, really.
Yep.
Just
squeeze out the Luna and the OD's place to farm, but they're able to farm Ancients for quite some time. Luna has the Alpha Wolf that's falling behind her, not stacking the Ancients. But they're keeping up decently in terms of net worth. Net worth graph doesn't look so bad for MAX.Y, only 3,000, so team fight can still easily go either way. I think they do need to make use of the Aegis, though. I don't know. Is Sniper even the right choice? Yeah, I don't know. I think Void might have been a little bit better.
Okay.
Just because I think the way you lose a fight is if Void doesn't get his chrono off. I think if Void has like a half-decent chrono on two people, and two people, one of them being cores, I think you can win the fight. Because Sniper really shouldn't get jumped. They can't approach him without BKB. Normally you need like a BKB Zerg down to get rid of him, but without BKBs, you'll just get stopped in your tracks by Shrapnel, Slardar, Crush, and like Kunkka, Torrent, X, Cast. There's not really a good way for them to approach a sniper. If you commit your blinks, you'll just die. And there is another haste rune on the OD. Might be looking to make a solo play on that, but at the same time, they're probably just waiting out this Aegis, which is another 1 minute and 45 seconds.
Slardar kind of coming close to them down in the jungle as that was where MAX.Y were heading.
You know, Dire has actually taken down all the T2
they're
towers
taking them
aside
at the
from
same, the same pace as DuoBao.Y. And as you mentioned, even though the kill advantage is significant, the farm certainly is not the same story. They are close.
They have a gem on Kunkka. They're realizing that the opponents are just getting way too much farm because they're able to dodge a lot of the ultimates and
no messing. I mean,
no messing.
Witch Dogs has been having a good game. OD sees it as a valuable kill to go for, and yeah, with the Shadow Amulet, needed to pop down the Sanities to claim that one. There's going to be no Sanities for this next pushing. Jump in. Astro to set off. And Fonse, it's going to be fine. In fact, Tone jumps back in response here into the center of all. HY looks for the hook, only grabs one of them. The ghost ship flies across, so the sustain will be huge this fight from the side of DuoBao.Y. Pots the BKB, but the physical damage from Chalice proven to be a little bit more. Just has to back up and kite up the Ogre. On the back of it, Fonte drops to Chrono, but he didn't catch anyone, but it doesn't look like it mattered at the end of the day. Luna was already well out of there. Maybe hoping if he could catch Luna through the tree line.
What happened to the OD?
I don't know.
I was
watching the sniper.
I was also watching the sniper. OD just died. I wish I could see a death recap for him, but
he might have taken. I think he was across the other side of the trees. He could have taken the ghost ship to the face. But a very, very good defense from DuoBao. Holding on. And again, showing HY he hits a hook, but he's got to. Not every hook's a good hook. Especially when you're in a position where Ghost Ship just sails across the entire team.
It's because he got that Ghost Ship off before he got hooked. If he got him before the Ghost Ship, they would have. I think Dire would have won that fight.
Yeah.
But he Ghost Shipped, he mech. That's way too much HP to blow through. He has 1,500 HP. He got the ship off at like 800, and then the mech. So you're burning through like 2,000 HP on a Kunkka when there's a sniper beating on you the whole time. It's just not happening.
The Ghost Ship for sure was massive, and well, at the back of that fight in the tower, Fonte. A few hundred gold away from having the ultimate orb for his Manta style. And elsewhere, Sniper looking for the Monkey King bar next. There's Shadow Blade pretty much done for Tone as well. So some big items coming out for DuoBao. Chrono back up in 25 seconds. Looks like Max want to try and fight maybe around this shrine. They're looking to sort of wrap him around, but already DuoBao retreat, jump forward. They have found one here. BKB's pop. They look to close in onto White, so they'll take Kunkka at least. Sniper turning to try and fight here. The Death Ward dropped down, but there's a stun here holding the Witch Doctor back. So this is not the fight that DuoBao wanted. And Drug ends up picking up a triple kill, shutting down the Sniper and two of his mates.
Yep, Sniper got hooked in that fight. Not a good fight for them because of that.
Not at all.
And he had to pop his BKB immediately, but Luna was just beating on him with the Butterfly. Luna's very, very farmed with the recently completed Butterfly. It doesn't have to opt for a BKB of her own, and they have weathered the storm. They have dealt with the Aegis, and now only a good Chronosphere will save them from potentially some severe structural damage.
Yeah, the push is so strong from Max. Much quicker than what DuoBao have to offer, for sure. The fact that Max have this Luna. Jump in from Draug. In fact, drops the Sanities immediately. Does force Slardar back to base. Fonte comes in, has the Chrono, but it's only going to catch the OD post-Astral. In fact, Fonte just takes huge amounts of damage, and he's out, and he does not have buyback.
What a vacuum. What a terrible Chrono.
Oh my goodness. That's cost them the racks, at least in this middle lane. That little bit of a blunder. Chalice will be caught out by the Ghost Ship.
What on earth was that? That Chronosphere. All he got was an Astral OD.
Chalice is dead though.
Yep.
So both teams showing us they can make mistakes here.
They need to get more damage out of this. They need to get that gem from the Ogre if they can. He has actually passed it off to someone else, to Darkseer in the back, who was more tanky. Wow, what a turnaround. My goodness. That was such a perfect vacuum from the Darkseer too, right as the tail end of the Time Walk was cooling down. Faces Void generally go for Blink because of this. It's kind of hard to get a good Chronosphere off if you do not have a Blink dagger. You just kind of have to walk up and time walk. But Luna able to get away with this sort of build is proving to be very detrimental to DuoBao.Y's success in this game. And next Roshan going to be the key here. If they get the Aegis on the Luna and she can just like straight tank a Chronosphere and then Satanic after
that's worrying for the Radiant.
That's very worrying. That's what you want to prevent.
I'll see what they can do. Shiva's Guard will be picked up in Darkseer as well, Tone. Heading up, scouting out whilst he's X-marked, so he knows the Pudge is around. Roshan back up in just over 2 minutes. Max feeling very confident with the way that they managed to pull off those last team fights. They know that they can get the setup, they've got the follow-up, and they have the damage. And it's just a case of waiting for Max to come to them, but it looks with DuoBao.Y not feeling confident enough to move over to the other side of the map.
They need to be able to scout out Roche from the Radiant side. Dire side just moving the Centaur Conqueror in there. This is the key. There still is a shrine up for a Radiant and not one for the Dire, so despite losing the last fight, I still think they have a slight advantage just because of the shrine. Net worth 5,000 in advantage for MAX.Y, and both teams kind of playing it safe before this next respawn. Slaughter does have a Shadow Blaze, so maybe he can look for this for a slick initiation or at least some vision on those key heroes in the fight so that there can be a really good chrono coming out from them.
Let's see what they can do. They do have a smoke. Is it just too risky for them to leave the base and smoke out DuoBao.Y?
They have an Observer Ward. Let's see. They have one Observer Ward close to the Roche Pit and one to the north of the Roche Pit. I don't think they see anyone, so it might be around that time. They will blow a scan to know whether or not they should smoke. Looks like they either think they're already inside the pit or that Roshan hasn't respawned, and now they are sitting up the hill. There is no shrine there, but it's still fantastic positioning for them as Radiant have to come up through a choke. How are they going to approach this? They need Tone, I think, scout around with the Shadow Blade, and they know this. Oh, my goodness. What a pop from Chalice. Chalice, I think, is actually playing the best on the side of MAX.Y.
Yeah.
With that smoke pop and a lot of other minor plays from him.
What was he playing in game one?
Jug.
It was the Jug, wasn't it? That's right.
Yeah, the Jug, I think, definitely played the best out of the Dire side. So,
yeah.
Maximum time, and now Void is showing on the left side. I think that might just be a really good sign for MAX.Y to pressure around the pit, but it looks like Luna wants to push that right side first. They actually ping out on her first, so both teams know that there is no attempt at the Roshan pit right now, but it's about to go down.
Yeah, it certainly seems very close to, at least up top. Tone, the Shadow Blade spots out Mill.
There's so much armor on that Darkseer that you don't really go for him in the team fights. OD is still actually quite fragile with no armor items upon him. If they can catch him before the BKB, it could be really good for them. Luna also has completed her BKB after sweeping down that mid-rack. So a lot of it depends on how good this Chrono is yet again. And without the Blink Dagger, it seems like he's not going to be able to necessarily get a good one unless Slaughter gets a good crush.
Just getting in the Amplify Vision onto Sugar Baby. And back out safely.
Luna's pushed in bottom really deep, and she still has Manta Illusions down there. So that's going to be some structural damage on that T3 as DuoBao.Y have to sit around this pit and make sure that they don't sneak it. Pudge could potentially go for a hook right here. He does have the Blink Dagger, but not really any vision across that hill.
Ping's already out onto the bottom. We'll see what they send back to...
I don't think they send back in.
They just let this happen.
Yeah, I don't... well, if they show the Void, I think they just go in and sweep Roche right now. I guess there still is a shrine up so he can TP, so that's what he is going to aim for. Looks like Dire may move inside the pit. They're very tempted to after seeing this Faceless Void. Faceless Void is around half HP after that. He might even have to sweep by the fountain before all that happens. And now Chalice, is he going to move inside the pit? He does get bloodlusted up again, and...
They're being very careful about this.
They're being so careful. And I like the play from the Faceless Void also to use the Shrine to heal up inside the base, just so he can be at full HP as soon as possible, close to that Roshan that is in such high tension right now.
Yeah, now TP's back over. We'll see if maybe I have to find something. If OD farms this wave, OD could be in potential danger here. Drug, ooh, quick with the blink. Couldn't quite catch him. If they catch him with that crush, he's almost certainly a dead OD as his teammates were already on the retreat.
That
may not have been able to
ward,
save him.
that sentry ward by Dire doesn't even cover that observer ward. So Dire feel kind of safe going into the pit, and Radiant feel pretty safe not going into Roche because they had that vision. And I don't think MAX.Y necessarily want to smoke in there too, just because both teams know that the Roche pit is going to be the next thing. So if they get a 5-man or even like a 2-man Chrono inside the pit, I think that could prove to be their undoing because they can't actually get back to the fight quickly. You can't buy back and TP on a shrine. You'd have to buy back, sell your treads, go for BOTs, look for a creep to TP on, and it would just be a long engagement that could potentially already be lost before you get back into the fight with your second life.
Again, similar position.
And now the siege creep's amped, so both teams have the same vision of the siege creep. And just looking at Roshan. This is so awkward.
Yeah, neither team wanting to make the first jump. I mean, who has the best kind of counter Roche? Right? You know,
both teams have good Roche.
There's a Chrono, there's a vacuum wall. Yeah, it's both teams have great ways of fighting around it. And no one wanting to go in.
Nope. Don't want to risk it. Yeah. I'm surprised Putch isn't like throwing out any stray hooks. I guess he's just worried about the positioning. Like if he throws a stray hook, they're going to have to kind of go up or fight like inside the river, which is advantageous to the Faceless Void. I'm actually a little sad that Faceless Void has not had as big of an impact considering his like really good start that he had. But he does have his Blink Dagger now, so maybe can get some better initiations going on.
Yeah, cycling through the Arms of the Void. He'd have Bloodthorn queued up, but now opting towards the Mjolnir instead. DuoBao. They're teasing with the idea. Again, just in and out of the pit. MAX.Y are close. I'm trying to send a creep in, but immediately taken down there by the sniper. I know that Roshan is spawned and ready.
Oh man, Drug has a Hex. He's really low on the net worth, but he still has the items that he needs to win the team fight.
Yeah, that's what his team requires.
So no attempt by either team to actually commit to the Roche. There are a few heroes showing on the bottom side for Dire, but Luna does have BOT, so she can easily get back to the wave. And Dire has you scanned. They know that they're inside the pit. Ori starts onto the Roshan, but this could be a very compromising position.
Quick enough.
Oh, wait. Radiant has you scanned. They know that they're coming.
They know that the jump's coming in, but the vacuum is onto 3. Sanity's Eclipse dropped as well. Witch Doctor's out. The Hex is there, shutting down the Slardar. DuoBao losing 2, almost certainly losing 3 as Ori is surrounded.
What on earth was that? That was the moment that they were waiting for? They even used a scan, but they didn't back off in time. I really like it.
Sniper doesn't have a buyback bent.
I don't think they had an observer. Oh my goodness. They had a lot of okay opportunities, I would say. I don't really think they were that hard-pressed to make a play inside the pit, but that should be game as Luna closes out the rest of the base with the Bloodlust. And yeah, that was just weird. I think DuoBao have had like significantly better teamfight engagements about like choosing when to teamfight and execution, but just that one poor decision to choose and take Roach at that particular moment and that whiffed Chronosphere by the Faceless Void on that mid T3. Yeah, that should be GG.
Oi, oi, oi.
And Chronosphere again, it just hits. Oh, man.
DuoBao certainly going to be kicking themselves after that one.
Yeah.
It looked to be a kind of a clean 2-0 after the momentum they had from game 1.
Void, I think you mentioned like the defusal. If he had a Blink Dagger, I think the game would have been a lot smoother for them.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, trouble.
It was actually like he didn't need the damage.